Production. Welcome back, everyone, to A Coming of Age, the podcast.
Coming of.
Oh, how sweet it is! How sweet it is to hear that voice. That is my
How
humble.
sweet it is to be heard by you.
Yo, you gotta bless it. Listen, on this app, you gotta bless it. Everything's gotta come out, man. Everything's gotta come out. That beautiful voice you hear
Get canceled for season 2.
is my humble and handsome co-host. They see pure positivity. Big up a man like my boy Frankness. Frankie, what's up, man?
Good evening, everybody. I just want to say I'm happy to be here. What is up?
Sex voice.
Blessings on blessings.
Sexy radio.
This
voice.
is a sex. This is
good evening. Good evening.
Yeah, little do you guys know, like before this podcast, I'm like actually talking like this, like, "Hey man, how's it going?" And then when it starts, like, "Hello everybody, how's it going?" You know what? Funny story at work. So now that the building's occupied, we have to go through and I have to talk to nurses and staff. And
first of all, give people the background of what you're talking about. You can't just say what you're saying.
So we
you just finished building. Yeah, I know what you're trying to say.
I know, my bad. We just finished building the 2 new CAMH towers or hospitals, whatever, downtown. And the staff and patients just moved in. And so now when we go around, we have to ask permission to go places and talk to the staff, et cetera, et cetera. So it's funny because I was walking around with my foreman, this big burly guy, and people say I actually look intimidating when I just walk around. Like, is the beard black? I don't know. And I put on
not the beard
this
or black. You just don't smile. You're not a smiley, like a walk around smile hello guy.
Yeah, but the beard. I want to say the beard because it's
not
more
the
manly,
beard,
right?
man. The beard. Anyway, go ahead.
It's funny because I'll be talking to my former like this, whatever, serious talk. And when I go to talk to these staff, all of a sudden I'm just like, "Hi, how's it going? It's Frank and Frank from Modern Niagara. We just want to go check something out." And then I'm like, "Yo, why do I sound like so
cheerleader?
Hi, yeah, body girl." I'm like, "Yo, they must all think I'm gay, 100%."
My name is
so
Brittany.
Now I try to check myself and be like, "Hey, how's it going, Frank from Modern Niagara?"
The fact you have to remind yourself before you go talk to some of those jokes.
Anyways.
And that beautiful voice you hear now is your other humble.
You know what?
And
No.
handsome. Okay.
The beautiful voice that you hear right now is the other immaculately amazing co-host. The man stressed with style. He enters a room, all ladies turn around away from him. This is Azam. Say hello to the people, Azam.
What's going on, everyone? You know, I gotta take that intro. This first intro, 45 eps in, never one time did he ever give me an intro. You know,
that's actually a lie. I did introduce you. Before.
One episode you did do the took over the beginning.
Yes, I did.
Okay,
that's a 0.25% rate. Right.
But as you might know, those of you listening right now, that this is our season finale of A Coming of Age. This is the season finale for season 1. It is episode 45. Back like Jordan, where the 4-5. We will be back in January. We will talk about that much later. But yeah, man, it's a finale, man. Finale 45. We thought about different things to talk about, and we weren't going to do a conclusion show or a wrap-up show. We're going to give everybody the real ish, like a real talk, a real topic.
We could have done an easy cop out and do a summary, "Oh, this is what we talked about. Here's a year in review," like Spotify.
Yeah.
Nah, yo, we had to bring some heat. We had to bring some properness. We had to make some couples argue and give stank face to each other. So that's what we've
been doing apparently sometimes. To some people.
Yeah, seriously. Cece's, yo, man, sometimes I always sweat after these episodes because I wait for the release and I just wait during the day. I don't my ringtone is always the same.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I have this intuition that I get a ringtone and I'm like, that's Cece about to cuss me about something. Not seriously cuss me. It was always joking. She laughs all the time. But I'm like, it's going to come, and I always sense it. It's so funny. Even though I forget half the stuff I talk about.
And my wife on the other end has not listened since March. So there's that. There's that. I go to say to him like, yo, Sal, I go, yo, don't forget I'm doing the finale tonight, so let's try to put the kids a bit early. Oh, she's like, I thought you did the finale. I thought you guys did the finale a while ago and just recorded it. And I'm like, what? When?
Where do you think I've been disappearing every single week?
No, but she's like, I'm like, she goes, oh, I thought you're just banking episodes for the next one. No, what? All right, man. Yeah, I'm like, you know what? Don't just stop.
Yo, you gotta talk to your wife, man. You gotta talk
big
to
up
your
Ceci,
wife.
man. Yo, you know what? Big up a girl like Ceci, yo. Big up Ceci, yo. Big up Ceci,
yo,
man.
big up Cece, yo.
So, that all being said, Frankie, we have a dandy of a finale. We had a dandy of a topic. Again, we were not gonna cop out. We were not gonna do a best of year end.
We're gonna give the people what they want.
And this one might be a little, I don't want to say we're going to get edgy. It's not edgy, but I think there's going to be a lot of, like every week we do the same thing as far as real talk, real convo. This one might be a little more on the edge of, to me anyways. I just
you
look
know
at
what I've never done?
Okay.
I've never searched for another podcast. Not saying we're one of a kind.
Yeah.
But I've never searched to see how many podcasts actually have like the same
subject matter.
The same fluid, real talk subject matters.
They don't.
Like, I've just never heard it, to be honest.
And I keep looking, and I've heard, and I see, I'm not going to, listen, I didn't want to even go there, but I've been looking up some Toronto podcasts that have recently popped up in the last 5 or 6 months. No. I've seen topics that we have discussed somehow start to bubble to the surface on some other shows. I'm not saying we are like, a million people a week listen, but it looks like that, maybe positively we're having some sort of influence on some young men out there that will want to talk about the same things we're talking about. I don't think now we're not manufactured, I'm not trying to say that they're manufactured, but this is a very real conversation that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what do you think about that? Have I told you about that? That there are these podcasts that have popped up of people that some people I know through like friend, like distance. That honestly, it's like our topics, our stuff, our like little snippety kind of style. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's kind of flattering in a way,
Yeah, we're starting a movement. That's
starting a movement, a very small movement. But nonetheless, what are we talking about this week, Frankie?
All right. So it's funny because our topic title is going to describe only 2/3 of what we're actually talking about.
Right.
So the last section of our topic is actually going to be probably one of the best parts ever.
Yeah.
But
I was going to allude. That's what I was trying to allude to, but leave it to the thing. Yeah.
I'm just going to give him numbers. 2/3 about what I'm about to say. The last third is going to be like a right hook out of nowhere.
You got to listen. Yeah. Guys
you gotta
and
listen.
Girls, you gotta listen.
So this week we are talking, the title is going to be simply called Opposite Attraction. All right. So opposite attraction, meaning opposites attract. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but we're going to talk about, split it up into 3 categories. I'm going to give you 2 categories.
Yeah.
The last one you're going to have to wait for. Yeah. Do you agree, Azam, or should I tell them?
No. Yeah, you know what? So my whole soliloquy there, I was going to allude to it and say it, but maybe now as I hear you say it, I think we shouldn't say it. I think we shouldn't say it.
Fair enough. Yeah. So first, we're going to talk about just simply in general, opposite attraction. Like what do we mean? Because it's not necessarily relationships. It could be work. It could be friendships. It can be acquaintances, even, to be honest. It can be anything, even drinks, right? Bitter, sweet. Like it can be so many things. So we're going to talk about that. Then we're going to roll into more specifics as to why opposite attraction actually works. Like, what is the logic behind it? Not saying it works all the time, but I mean, often you see it and you're like, what makes no sense, but it's there. And then we're going to close it off with, you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to sit down and listen to the podcast to get that last category. You don't want to miss it. Okay. You do not want to miss it, because I'm sure everyone's going to have some good comments and feedback and whatnot. So.
All right.
That's that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. All right.
So how you want to kick this thing off?
Go on.
Usually you pose a question.
Let's kick it off pretty simple.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. So I was just going to ask you. So Azam, when it comes to opposite attraction, if someone comes to you, if someone came to you,
yes.
If someone came to you and was just like, yo, Azam, opposites attract. Just very simple. What is the first thing that comes to your mind automatically?
So obviously the first thing that would come to mind is some sort of like love relationship or like interest in the opposite sex. As I've gotten older though, and as I mentioned to you prior to us recording, to me now I think of opposite attraction. I think that I kind of broaden that definition to friendships and to business relationships and to working relationships. Which are very different things, and you're looking for different aspects in people, and it makes you really, whereas you might be really good friends with somebody, but you probably don't want to do business with them, right? Or go into business with them, or do anything having to do with money with them, maybe. Also, with love, or like, obviously for us, for women, looking at a woman, you might look at it and be like, I don't want someone like me. You know what I mean? Like if you're introspective enough, or you might be like, you know what? I'm looking for someone just like me, man. Like maybe quiet, but not in a bad way or egotistic way. Like I'm a perfect person, but I'm laid back. I need somebody quiet and laid back, like I don't want somebody who's like, get to the party and they're talking to everyone, kind of thing. So to me, I mean, short answer long, that'd probably be my answer now. How about you? Have you always thought of it in terms of opposite sex, or have you kind of like broadened it yourself to friendships?
So I've always first thing, I'm just like everybody else. First thing for me is, because when you hear opposite attracts, that's pretty sure is derived from relationships, like relationship talk and about how opposites do attract, right? Yeah. But just like you, I have definitely broadened it in the sense where you have to remember, it doesn't necessarily mean doesn't have to be an entire it doesn't have to encompass every trait of a person, couple, or friendship. Right. It can just be one thing, right? So it can even be, you can have two people who are actually very similar. Let's say they like to party, they like to give, they like to talk, or whatever it is, right? But the opposite attraction part might be, for example, like you said about business, maybe one person has a lot of money to invest, but no idea. And the other person has a ton of ideas, no money to invest.
Yeah, sure.
And people might think that, usually the rich kind of collaborate to go build this or to, invest in that or whatever.
That's a super
But
good
it's like,
example.
well, no, not exactly. Sometimes you need that vision, but you just don't have the loot. And some people are just like, I have all this money, but I have nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, sure.
And I think like that now because I'm always constantly trying to think of new business ventures and investment opportunities, etc. And you have to think outside the box, and you have to think you almost have to look for people who aren't necessarily like-minded, as in who want to invest in the same thing, but maybe just people who you want to think of who might not even see the opportunity to invest. Right?
I read a book a long time ago. It was and it was just talking about a lot of CEOs like Mark Cuban, Vince McMahon, WWE, Hugo. I forget what the guy's name is. Hugo Boss guy or whatever. They surround themselves specifically with people that they are the opposite to, like are unlike, are not like-minded. Don't think like them. Don't look like them. They purposely do that in order to get I think what they're doing is they're trying to get the full spectrum of understanding of whatever their business aspect of their business they're trying to expand on, or to obviously make money on, right, or to grow, right? Because, and I think that's probably the biggest thing. Like, if you're able to introspectively, that's why I kind of mentioned that early on, that if you're able to introspectively look at yourself and be like, you know what, these are things that I don't possess. I am not this kind of person, but you also are specifically looking for that kind of person, either in a love relationship or in a business relationship. I think friendships, especially with guys and stuff, guys can kind of hit it off very quickly on like sports, like find some sort of commonality there.
Some common ground. Yeah.
Some common ground there. And maybe as that relationship blossoms, it probably usually always still surrounds sports, though. Like I don't know one friend of mine who that I've gained via sports or some sort of interest via like a TV show or something that's so like small that I've done and gone beyond that with, because I have kind of sussed out, you know what, I don't think we don't work well in that situation. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. I understand.
Yeah.
I think that it makes perfect sense, because you actually hit on something where you said you're talking with someone who doesn't necessarily emulate the same traits as you. But I think if you want to be really successful, you always try to search for the knowledge that you don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So of course it's good to collaborate with someone who, has common knowledge, because maybe they know something or a tidbit about that same subject that you don't know.
Right.
But at the same time, if you want to be a true master of just this world, you want to talk to someone who knows about spaceships and about batteries, just to throw it out there.
Yeah, sure.
And then what do you get? Elon Musk.
Right.
Right? so it's just like,
that's a good one, yeah.
It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So you do want to talk to other people and kind of think outside the box, and that way you can be presented to new opportunities. Now, how that relates to relationships, of course, we have to talk about that.
That's what I was going to say. We're going to get into the juicy now,
yeah. There's some relationships where I will never understand. And it's something you can never understand from the outside looking in, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because, of course, I feel like a lot of times, most of the times, I've ever even commented saying in any kind of degree, wow, how are they together?
Right.
I can only come up with theories and nothing concrete. I might think, oh, well, he's really loud and, exciting, and she's not. I don't know, maybe they balance each other out. Maybe it's good because they don't outduel each other, or one's argumentative, the other one isn't. So maybe like the other one's just laid back and doesn't. But it's all theory. It's all theory, and I don't get it.
Have you ever like mid relationship been like, we're the total, like just hit you and like we are the total opposite? like has that ever happened to you?
Have I?
Yeah.
Ever been in that?
Yeah.
Like I've been on dates.
Yeah.
I say I've been on dates more so, because I haven't had many long-term relationships, so whatever. But like dates, that I've definitely had times where I sat down, and it's funny because if I had a more closed mind back in the day, and like something would just set me off within like 10 minutes, and my mom already just like, I gotta get out of here. Like I'm not interested
like what?
Whatsoever.
Like what?
Sorry?
Like what?
I can't remember. It was years ago, man. Come on. Like, how are you trying to throw me out like that, guy?
Because you're like, within 10 minutes, you're like, I gotta get out. Would she make like a lewd joke? Like a joke that maybe
it would either be because maybe her attitude was just like a little off. Maybe she was cheesed about something. I don't know. Or maybe because I was just trying to pull. Oh, okay. Actually.
Here we go.
See? You always pull it out of me.
Yeah, always, man.
One time,
Patience.
it was this girl who I met. I don't remember where I met her, but we were like, oh, I'm the type where if I want to go on a date, like a first date for me is, let's go to a nice restaurant or go see a nice comedy show, or I try to do something, right?
Right.
I was suggesting, she's like, let's just go to Timmy's. I'm like, just Tim Hortons. And I thought it was a test. I'm like, nah, man, let me take you out. She's like, no, Timmy's. I'm like, just want to go for Timmy's. She's like, yeah, coffee. And it's like 8 o'clock at night or something. I'm like, all right, Timmy's. Yo, we went to Timmy's, and let me tell you, you would have thought I was talking to myself.
Okay.
Like I would, if I didn't say anything, we would legitimately sit there in silence. She didn't want to talk. And I'm like, oh, so what about this? Da da da. She just would not talk.
On.
I'm like,
yeah.
And the fun part is like she was the one who was like, yeah, let's meet up. Let's do it. I'm like, okay, cool. It was just one of those where I was just like, in real life, you just don't.
Well, isn't it good that she picked Timmy's and not like a restaurant? Because you would have dashed out so much more money, man. It would have been a
100%.
It worked out.
So I was like, yo, man,
$12
double a donut, no problem.
I was gonna say at most you're $12 deep if you go deep on that menu. Especially if you're talking back in the day.
Let me get a chili. Ooh, chili? Yeah. All right.
The crackers? I don't know about the crackers. You want to hold off on the
you want the combo?
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna get another coffee? All right.
Imagine, and Tim Hortons menu back in the day, dude, it was so soft. It was like Timbits, some chili and shit, donuts. There was no like all these breakfast sandwiches and all these different kinds of
dude.
things.
I'm just telling you, the conversation was, it was nowhere. I'm like, all right, this is it. This is it for me.
I had mentioned to you one time before that, like when I was young and like a teenager, high school, like I literally would, like, if it was the most prettiest girl in the entire world, everyone was like, yo, my gosh, she's so pretty and stuff. But if she talked a lot, like she was a talker, I wouldn't even like try, dude. I would not even try. I already knew I had to like be with the kind of girl that was like me, like kind of like could keep things on the hush and was slick tongue, like slick. Not okay. Hold on. not like nasty.
Oh, so not necessarily a talk. You mean like she gossiped or she spread news?
Yeah, none of that. But like, I meant like slick tongue, like flirty. Like if I knew a girl was flirty, I knew she was like me, and I knew it could work because usually flirty people can, everything's always on the, on the below the level,
I legitimately have
no idea
what you're talking about.
Well, what I'm just trying to say is that when I look at it now, is like I was looking for not the opposite. I was looking for me. I was looking for female versions of me, like in mindset, and like in attraction. What attracted me wouldn't have necessarily attracted you. Like what attracted me was like someone who kind of acted like me. It wasn't the quiet. And a lot of times, I liked the quiet girl. The quiet girl was always like the one that like I almost would be like,
is it because you never have to tell her to stop talking?
No, because like, wow, Frank. Right over.
Hey, you said season finale, yo.
Season finale.
24 whatever minutes. I gotta say.
Let it loose. But like, she was more intriguing to me than the girl who was like the super popular girl, or the one who was like talky, like the one who was like kind of. I don't know why. I always felt like that was because I feel like that's how I was. I was like fairly quiet. I feel like I was fairly quiet, but if we were in a personal talk, I was the most like, maybe I had a lot of charisma, a lot of talk, a lot of chat. But on a whole sense, I wouldn't be the one to be like, yo, look at me, like, like, hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Yeah. Like I was never like
that. It's funny because I'm the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I actually like, I've always been attracted to a woman who I guess knew how to turn the switch on and off.
Okay.
Like in 3 instances. A, if you're at a party, they know how to be eccentric, talkative,
yes,
kind of like bouncing around, having a good time. B, they also know how to just chillax, be home, watch a movie, do nothing, be happy, and just silence. And then 3, the type who knows how, like, who's still polite, right? So at a party, they can be cussing, having fun, whatever, acting more like relaxed. But then they know the other setting where they have to be more like, good evening, how's it going? Like more down to earth.
Am I right to say you described Cecilia?
100%. Come on, man. I'm not stupid.
And and you just described, and look at that. You just described Saida to me because
oh, there you go.
I I am more the, like, in a very big public setting, the one to be like, kind of maybe, I like, again, more maybe the subdued, if you're looking at it as both, more the subdued one. Saida is the one that all her brothers and sisters send her in and be like, Saida, you have to come to this thing because I want you to talk to these people. Like, I want you to talk to these people. And like, I know if anybody comes, Sal's on, man. She's on.
Yeah.
But also she's like, Saturday comes, she's like, I don't want to go. You go out. I don't want to go out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't go. So, and super polite, super nice. You would never know that she has like a mean bone or like can yell or scream, you know what I mean? Or say mean things or something like that. You would never know that.
So what do you think about and I'm going to take the cats out of the bag.
Yeah. Yes.
Call it judgmental, call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
But the thing that actually always has me just kind of like what? It's always when I see one partner just a little loosey-loose, big mashup, you want to call it. Yeah. And the other one is just so well put together.
Nice.
That I will never, because like you automatically think, unfortunately, you automatically think the woman or the man has money. It's like one of them has money. Yeah. One has money, 100%. The slob has money, right? Because it's like, why else would you want to walk beside that, right? It sounds so bad, right?
No, it doesn't. Let's let it go, man. I got a story too.
But like, automatic, and it's not. I can't say it's bad. It's just judgmental, and judgmental isn't necessarily bad. It's judgmental can be curiosity. Call it whatever you want. But if I see that, I'm like, yo, something,
yes,
something is there that the other person is just has. Yo, sometimes I'm even like, yo, they have dirt on that person. There's dirt. Someone has dirt, yo.
My dirty brain is like, yo, they must be doing some freaky thing, yo. There must have been some freaky
I was going to say that, but my mom listened. But I was like, yo, man, that dude must go down on every single hole and doesn't care. Big toe, belly button, scars,
man, tongue everywhere,
warts.
Man, don't miss
everything.
Man, don't miss an inch.
Doesn't miss anything.
It's like
pre-shower, post-shower. Just came home from the gym from a run.
Yeah.
Just doo-doo. Doesn't matter. Still going down there. Season finale.
Jesus. yo, I never saw. Now I don't know if there's people listening here who've probably never been to the East End of Toronto, but I never saw such contrast until I went to Ajax Whitby.
What?
I never saw such physical, like how in the.
No, you're just trying to find a reason to hate on Durham. No.
I love it out there.
Yeah, we got the 412, 47. Come on, man. What do you know about that?
I never saw such contrast in my life before. It was like a culture shock. It was a bit of a culture shock when I went there. Sorry, not because. Let me give you the best story. So
before you go on, did you know that all the 400 highways, if it's an odd number, it goes east-west. If it's an even number, it goes north and south.
I didn't know that.
There's some new knowledge for you, bro. Now continue with your story.
So that being said, I
feel like everybody listening right now just pause, like, hold on,
wait a minute.
410,
pure Google,
427,
pure Google Maps,
400. Oh shit! All right, sorry, go ahead.
Yo, the best one ever is like, so me and my boy Marlon, our boy Marlon, let's say. Marlon hated you at the time, but Marlon hated you at the time, so I don't know.
Marlon hates me now.
So we're working in the same department. We used to work in the car audio department, okay? And this blonde girl, pretty blonde girl, tall, thin, long blonde hair, leather jacket, walks up to the counter and she's telling Marlon what she's looking for. And she's pretty much looking for like a whole complete audio system, right? And it's obviously a deck, speakers, and subs, okay? Whole package. Marlon starts writing out this package. I'm beside Marlon. Then I see a next guy walk into the sound. There was something we used to call the boom room, which was like a place where you can play music and all the speakers play and the subs play. Anyway, you can kind of sample all the stuff we have to sell. I walk over there, and it is a taller than her guy, dreadlock guy, dark, mash like shoes mash up, jeans mash up, hat mash up. weed like dank weed. So immediately I go into West Indian mode. He's West Indian. I'm like, hey brother, what's going on? Not hey sir, how are you? Hey brother, what's going on? Hey man, what's going on? Straight. Hey, anything I can help you with? No, I'm good. Okay, cool. Let me know if you need anything. This guy, in about 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes. I remember going to the shop area, coming back out, and this guy standing right behind the blonde girl, right? And the blonde girl could not have been more like clean, like head to toe clean, brother. Not even like anything out of place.
Yeah.
And this guy is whispering in her ear something like, hey, and then she's just regurgitating it back out like, oh, does it have this? And then Marlon's like, yeah, da, da, da. And I'm like, yo, this guy's, then all of I see the man holding up the, arm around her, tight, hold up, like bottom of her hip to her, butt cheek. I'm like, only here this would happen, man. Only
get out of here.
Only in Asia, because judgmental.
Get off your Vaughn
no, but
pedestal. Have you ever been to
Toronto? No, judgmental part of me is like what we said, opposites. I'm like, there has to be there could not be more of a stark contrast to Canadian blonde white girl, Jamaican dread black guy, and them two have come together in the melting pot we know as Toronto. Could introduce them to each other, but what common ground could they have? And then immediately, being a younger person, you're like, yo, this man has got to be doing something, guy.
He's dealing or pimping or
no, not that. I mean, he's got to be putting it down to her. Like, yo, she got to be super something's going down. Frank just scratching his.
Okay, so
Frank, you guys can't see Frank. Frank is just like, yo, man's pretty much nodding, well. But again, it goes back to our topic of opposites attracting. This is an observation of
age. Age is the next one. If you see some older lady walking with some young fly guy, or you see some older guy walking with some young fly lady.
Yeah. It's
what?
sad.
You're so innocent.
No, but you're
okay. Let me switch it up.
No, but you're
holding
so
hands. They're clearly intimate. They're clearly intimate.
Oh, I never seen that. I don't think I've ever seen.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I see that. I'm just
but you work in Toronto.
The first thing is money. The first thing is
Vaughan Mills ain't got them
someone
kind
has money
going on, yo. Vaughan Mills ain't got them.
Yo, shut up.
Maybe Eaton Center in them places, yo. Cedar Bray Mall and all.
Vaughan has it, you fool.
Promenade.
Vaughan has
maybe
it.
Promenade.
Yeah. Yo. You're getting me vexed now.
But not Vaughan Mills, yo. Vaughan Mills ain't got that. Yo,
Vaughan Mills sucks. Just don't talk about Vaughan, okay? Don't talk about Vaughan on this podcast.
Yo, you're telling me that when you see an older woman with the guy, you don't immediately think son and mom. When I see older man with younger girl, I think, oh yeah, there's many things that could be going on there. But my brain doesn't compute that the older woman is with the younger guy.
Obviously, okay, this is obviously if this has to be if they look like they're together, if they're walking close or touching, right. Blah 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 blah. I think I don't know. I can't tell you why, but you could tell if it's a son or mother or father.
Well, if it's
daughter.
A dread guy with an old white granny, yeah, I mean maybe you can be yo, you know what?
Adopted, yo. But no, for real, when you see an older person with a young person, they're clearly together. It's just first thing is money. First thing. First thing has to be
you
money.
See, that's the difference between me and you. I don't think money. I keep thinking sexual stuff. I'm like, yo, this man they're doing something, God. They hit it off, yo.
Really?
Yeah, they hit it off something. Yeah, my mind don't go money,
if it's a young, beautiful woman, just drop dead gorgeous with this old crusty guy.
Oh, okay.
You think that?
Yeah, okay. In that scenario,
you know what I mean?
In that scenario, yeah.
You ever see Modern Family, the show?
Yes. Al Bundy.
Come on, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Come on, man.
For sure.
Look at Al Bundy. He's even a good-looking old guy.
Yeah, he's not even Al Bundy in that show. He doesn't have his own shoe. Work at the shoe store. Nothing.
He has his own closet company. But look at him. It's really. And I hate to do that. I hate to be judgmental, be oh man, they're in love. No,
man.
Look at her, look at him.
Sophia.
I will say this. I shout out Sophia because
Sophia Vergara. Shout out to Sophia Vergara.
I didn't like her because I always found her mouth was abnormally way too big. I'm like, look at, like, her mouth is huge.
What is going on?
And she was loud. And then watching the show is actually hilarious. I'm like, all right, she's cool. She's cool. She's cool.
You never seen her before that? You never seen her before that? And like Tyrese and baby. Oh, okay.
First time I saw her was Modern.
She was in enough hood movies, man. She was in enough hood movies. Yeah, enough hood movies.
I gotta look it up. Maybe I'll see how I feel.
But
So then, all right. So moving on now. So okay. So we talk about all this different types of opposite attraction.
Yeah.
So, and we touched on it a little bit, but so why do you think? What are some reasons? Like, why do you think this is a thing?
I think what generally, I feel like generally humans like some sort of challenge. Like they don't like things don't like to be easy. So if you get somebody who's like you, it's gonna be fairly easy, right? Like at least that's how I think of it. You're not gonna have a contrast. You're not gonna have a yin and a yang. Like, and I feel like the opposite is kind of what spurs you. Like almost like again, if you're like more of a quiet person, this person's kind of more like outgoing or kind of like let's go, like kind of that more free spirited. I feel like that invigorates you. Maybe it pulls out a piece of you that you never had. You
think the opposite is the same, where it's like if you're more of a fast-paced, outgoing, eccentric person, you find someone who's more tamed. You're like, you know what? I need this. Like, I need someone who's gonna
absolutely grounded,
help me slow down.
You always hear that word grounded. Like a lot of guys say that. Oh, they ground me. My family grounds me. But I think what they're trying to say is that, like, I mean, if you dig deep into that, it's probably because they're able to ground you because they don't have the same willingness to do the kinds of things you want to do, and you don't have the willingness to do the kinds of things they want to do. So it's almost, it gives you that other side, right? Of like, you're a businessman, you travel all the time, you're an athlete, you travel all the time. They're home, right? Like they're home. They're not doing the amount of things you're doing. That doesn't mean you're doing more valuable, more or less valuable, but they're giving you that other aspect of life, right? That groundedness, that balance, that kind of like that feel, that I think we're all looking for.
Do you think, sorry to cut you off, do you think that some people look for opposites almost because they want to be seen in a high regard, if that makes sense? So like,
they don't want to be overshadowed.
Yeah, so like, if you have a more quiet girl or what, you might be like, I love how you're just like, you always relax. You're always, I can always count on you to be home or whatever it is, right?
Right.
And to her, that might be like, nice, that's what I was going for.
Yeah, sure.
Or the opposite, where a girl might be like, hey, I like how you're always, I don't know, whatever it is that the opposite thing is, right?
Yeah, I absolutely think that. And I also think that women have a greater checklist on their, like, I feel like women typically generally have this checklist where they're like, this is the kind of guy they want, and I think what's beneath all that is someone who's opposite to them, an opposite of to what they want. Because a lot of times I think women and men try to be like, you might be like, oh, we want the same kind of things, we have the same values. That's great. So that's a grounded level. But when you're actually talking with someone, when you're actually trying to get opinion from somebody or perspective, that's a total different thing, right? Like, me and you can believe in how respect should be given. Me and you can believe in how we should be raising our kids, but we're going to have very different opinions on the most remedial subjects and the most important subjects. We're going to have different takes on finances, and we're going to have different takes on everything. Aspects of like actual everyday life are going to be different. And I think
it's funny because some people see that as like future confrontation, but the others see it as, no, it's a future just conversation, discussion, exploration into topics that is going to have a rebuttal.
I also believe, I'm also a huge believer in people are who they show you they are. So meaning, like, if this person shows you that there's someone who spends a lot of money or like spends things or buys things like way more than you would, well, I guess what's going to happen, buddy, when you get married, that's probably not going to end, so your financial woes, if you're worried about finances, that's not going to end. I think the worst thing that anybody could do is try to change someone, right? So imagine you've gotten into a relationship or a marriage or a serious committed relationship with someone, and then you're pretty much trying to change them, right? You kind of got with them and you're like, you know what? I bet you I can get him to stop smoking. Or you know what? He does smoke a little bit. He drinks a little bit. It's probably not going to happen, you know? It's probably not going to happen.
Well,
it's probably not going to happen until they want to.
I would disagree with that a little bit.
The drinking part or just the changing part? The example of that? Or what?
I'm going to say changing because I know that the drinking part can be a discussion, but I do believe that I feel like you shouldn't try changing people.
Yes.
For selfish reasons. Maybe that can make more sense. As in, I think that it is responsible and beneficial to try to change not people's DNA, but just to, I hate the word change, but it's to help them adjust something that if they did, it would benefit both of you. But I do believe that you should not try to change someone's like personality, who they are. So like you said, if you did talk about smoking and drinking, if you did realize someone smokes a hell of a lot or drink a lot and you see that it's actually having health complications, if you love the person, would say, hey, you need to stop smoking because you're going to die, or you need to stop drinking so much because you almost hurt yourself this time, whatever it is, right? I think that's okay because that's like a tangible thing.
But before you go further in your relationship, you know, like that's what I'm kind of thinking of. Like, because I remember my mom telling me that her mom told her back home when they're young, she's like, marry anybody who you want, but don't marry any man that drink. Don't marry any drunkard. Because what they're seeing in their community back home in Guyana is like Guyanese men typically are known for being drunkards, right? And drinkers, you know, and heavy drinkers. And, you know, maybe alcoholic is a hard word, but it's just the culture of the culture there is so much like that. You know?
But here's a catch-22 though. You'll meet someone, you might not, and now I'm going to broaden this out to business, friendships, relationships, everything.
Yeah.
Naturally, as you know someone longer, you get more comfortable, and as you get more comfortable, you feel more privy, to voice your opinion a lot more openly, right?
Once that
so if I just meet someone,
over,
100%. So if once I meet someone and they're my friend, I'm not going to tell them, yo, bro, like, be more dependable. No, no, that's this person. He's not dependable. That's just how he is. Whatever. Yeah. But if we're like 5-10 years in a relationship, that's when I might be like, yo, bro, how about you actually start showing up on time? Because every time you don't, you have to be waiting or whatever it is.
Yes.
And that's where you can change. Like, so what I'm trying to get at is, I think people naturally try to change, quote unquote, people, but I think it's usually I would like to think it's usually for the better. Like, I don't know anybody who like purposely tries to change someone for the worse, other than toxic relationships where like it's like an overpowering woman or guy who's just very controlling and wants to like actually strip you from your stuff.
I just feel like it's like becomes a burden that you didn't plan for, you know? Like it becomes like
what does?
Like the person who's on the opposite end who's doing something the opposite, and a couple years in, let's say you're not married yet and you're with somebody 2 years in, 3 years in, and they play a lot of video games, they don't spend a lot of time with you. But you still love that person. When the time is spent, it's magical, it's amazing, all that kind of stuff. But I know someone who is like that, and the wife is in full regret. But now she has fully adjusted her life to like pretty much spending her time with other people, right? Like not cheating on him, but like she spends
I know
her free time with everybody else except for him. And to me, when I look at that, and obviously this is me, outsider, I'm like, she could not have signed up for that. Like, I don't know if that's like, you know, like I don't see how she could have signed up for that. Like I have
well, I think that's where maybe that might be a situation where, like you said before, you meet someone, you see something that you absolutely don't like, and you want to change, and you stick with it.
Or you think it's not that bad. You think, it's not that bad. You know, but the person is showing you who they are, and that doesn't mean that they're wrong and you're right. But what you're not seeing is as this relationship advances and time goes on, that's going to be the same. That issue is probably going to either get worse or be the exact same. I don't think it's going to get less.
You only take it for so long, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Do we want to roll into this this third part? Part what, the 3 of 3 or what?
For those who can't see, I'm just like staring at Azam. I'm just like
what do you want to
no,
do?
it's
yeah.
So it's okay. We're gonna be very biased here, and I don't care because it's our podcast.
Super biased.
So now we're talking about opposites attract.
Yes. But
along with opposite attraction, right, comes with opposite deflection or disputes, let's call it. Okay.
Yo, I want to say something before you go on. Sorry, I don't want to. I know I tend to cut you off a lot. That is you know, I said to Frank before we started, I'm like, yo, there's got to be a way we can roll into this, you know, and he could not be more poetic.
I was ready for it. I don't tell you, and I'm not even boosting. I knew exactly how I was going to roll into it.
Yeah. We're good,
it was Azam who suggested that we did this. I'm not gonna lie, so I'm just rolling with it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So so with opposite attraction comes with opposite disputes. It's gonna happen. It's natural. And with that, right? Because we are men and there's no female on the show yet, but we will have female cast in 2021 season 2.
At some point, a woman's got to be on. It's gonna be
100%.
Yeah.
You know what? We would have, but this pandemic really screwed us up. But with that said, you have to know how to say no to your spouse. But particularly, we are going to talk about how to say no to women.
Yes.
Why do you have to know how to say no, Azam? I'm actually, like, you explain, because I know you know, like, so, what are we getting at here?
So you got to say no for your own sanity as a man, because you can't just keep saying yes. And I know the adage is happy wife, happy life. Happiness doesn't just come with being like, yeah, okay, or just folding all the time. You got to say no, dude. You got to figure out a way to pivot and get her to pivot. And it's very mental, and it's very it can be very strenuous, but you got to find a way, man. It can be expensive. It can be expensive,
but
yeah.
What I was more so alluding to is why it's important to know how to say no. Is because, yes, this is even just about opposite attraction. When you're in a relationship, in a partnership, whether it's business, a friend, whatever, but fine. If we stick with the opposite attracts, you both do opposite things.
Yes.
Or have opposite personalities, characteristics, whatever, right? If you love each other, you actually try to take part and adopt some of the stuff that they do that you don't.
Right.
So if you don't like to go out partying often, then you try to entertain them and go out when you know, to be there with them. If you don't like to, if you're very much an arguer and your partner isn't, then, you know, sometimes you have to know when to just not argue and just kind of step back and say, all right, you know, let it be. Right. If you spend a lot of money and your partner doesn't spend a lot of money, or vice versa, you got to be like, all right, you know what? They like fancy things, so let me just spend this money because it's what they like. Let's just do it, make them happy. But at some point in time, you got to be able to say, I ain't doing that.
So
she's like, sorry,
so let's get down to brass tacks, okay? Frank,
brass tacks.
I'm a young 21, 22-year-old. I just finished my bachelor's at York. I meet you, and I'm like, yo, hey man, hey OG, you know, what would be your advice to me, man? I feel like I'm never like putting my foot down. These girls always taking advantage of me. What is Frank's method to the madness? How do you go about saying no? Or have you said
how
no?
Am I answering
have you
first?
Said no? Have you said no?
How many have I said no?
Like, have you said no when it really counts?
Yes. Okay, so first of all, disclaimer. I'm not gonna big myself up. I'm not gonna say, yo, I'm the man. I say no when I want. Blah blah blah. I am very much a compromising person in all relationships, right? So with my relationship with Cece, with my relationship with my friends, and business stuff at work, always, because I like to see two sides of the coin, and I also think that it's a two-way street. You give, you take, you give, you take, you give, you take, you give, right?
Right.
But with that said, it depends on what the situation is, and I hate that answer because it's so broad, but it really does.
No, okay,
because you have to have a you have to have a system. Okay, so
I want the Frank system. Yeah, give it to me, man. I want the Frank system. I know you do, because I've seen you in my fairly small windows. I've seen you say no, but not say no.
When have you seen me? When? Give me an example. Hang on. Before I give you my system, I gotta hear this example. What?
I've seen you at my house with Ceci that time when you guys came, and she says saying a couple things to you, and in not so many words, you're telling her no. That's not gonna work.
What was the specific? Please enlighten us.
It was about your house and modeling. I don't remember if it was the backsplash or like your handles for your kitchen or something like that. But it was something that you guys have been continually talking about. It's been something that was not heated, but like something that had tension to it. And you were able to stand back and without saying it rudely, pretty much be like, no, that's not gonna happen. I don't want that. Like, that's not gonna happen. I also was at your house that time when I came by, and I saw you and I heard you again, in not so many words, say to Cecilia, no, but not in a rude way, not in a thing way, but in a very oh, okay. Like there was nothing more followed by that. It was like you were very able. You were much.
Okay.
I don't know if he's sweating or he's just breathing, but his head has gotten way more shiny. His head. I wish I could. We need to record these. Frank's bald head is shining. Now you asked me. I wasn't gonna say.
You asked me. Man. It's hot, yo. It's hot.
You know what's funny?
23, 24.
I have a pretty good memory, and people always push it to me like, when did it happen? I'm like, I always go, I don't know, man. I don't know if you want me to say. Go ahead and say. I'm like, all right. Well, what I saw was, what I heard was.
Okay. This is it for me. This is it.
Yeah.
Okay. So first, just women in general. So it depends.
General, yes.
Let me start with the easy one. If it's at work, okay?
Yeah.
And if I'm speaking with a woman, and if she is a lower position, and I have this say, and I'm saying this is what's going on.
Yes.
I will listen to what they got to say.
Yes.
Of course. But if from my expertise, my experience, my knowledge, I know that this is how it has to be at work, my time is literally very precious to me. So eventually I'll squash and say, this is what's happening, get it done, or I'll get someone else to do it, please. Right. But for me to get there, the person, they would have to really be like, I don't want to do this, or how about it? And if I see it's just hey, listen, I always start with well, not always. I always start with hey, listen, just do it this way, whatever, kind of,
manners-ish. Yeah,
yeah. But if I see that they're literally just being just ignorant to the fact that hey, your leader, your boss is giving you direction, and you should kind of just get the hint and just do it. You got to be more straight to the line. You know
obviously, I want to ask you: is it different with men? Like if a guy said that to you or a woman said that to you? That's what I'm getting at. Okay.
No.
Again, how are we? So I want the brass tacks, man. How are you saying no? How does Frank lay the ground? Because here's what I see. Okay, you know what? Since you don't want to answer, I'm going to tell you what I see.
No, I'm going to answer. It's just that I gotta I'm giving my trade secret.
No, because listen to me, man. Listen, you don't get to be. I'm with Saida 16 years, married 11 years. I know what I understand. you gotta lay groundwork. This is not like a from day one. Bro.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Stop.
Go ahead.
Stop talking. All right.
Go ahead. Give it to me.
This is how it is.
Yeah.
All right. You want to hear it? I'll tell you. 9 times out of 10, same thing. I always start with the kind, soft, rounded approach,
right.
where it's just like, if we're let's say she comes and she's saying, "Hey, Frank, I want to do this," right? If in my mind, I know I'm not doing
no
that,
way,
right? Like I don't want to do it. We're not going to do it.
Right.
Whether it costs too much money or it takes too much time, or if I just don't want to do it, it's not happening, right?
Right.
So there's 2 different types of Franks, right? One where it's a topic where I want to be delicate and just like kind of like whatever. So I'll say, hey, babes, I don't really want to do that because of ABC. Yeah, but she'll kind of push the issue. I'm like, yeah, but I already said like, based on what you just said, it's not worth it, or it's now it's not the time. We can't be spending this, or I don't like this.
Right.
If she keeps pushing,
yes,
like after I said it like 2-3 times, I don't want to do it.
Yes,
that's where I escalated, right? Where I'm just like,
consciously, it might be like consciously escalated, or are you enthralled emotionally? Like, are you able?
No. Okay. Like,
you got to go to this level
verbally.
You have to go to this level.
I have to come out. Yes, because sometimes you have to like.
Yes.
Like sometimes they try to beat it out of you, like, oh, if they think they ask them out, enough times, it's just gonna happen. Right. And it's just like, it's not happening, right? It's like no, and I'll give a little, like, no matter how many times you shape it, not how many times you ask it, you can throw it to me whichever way, whatever pitch. The fact of the matter is, it's not happening. It physically is not going to happen. Like, just stop asking, right? But then the other side of me is where if there's something that I'm like my father. If there's something that I'm very adamant about, like, in my mind, it's just like, especially when it's like, what my answer is going to be, then I go just straight to the no. Like, just straight, it's like, no, I'm not doing that. And yeah, but I'm like, no. Like, just, there is no argument here. There is no if, ands, or buts. There is no, all right, let's discuss it. It's just straight up not going to happen.
I've seen both of those things. I've seen both.
And then there's the and there's sometimes where it's funny because she calls me out on it. There are times where I'll give an answer, but she knows that I'm not going to do it or say no. So she'll say, "Oh, for example, okay, here's a real life example. It always comes back to the house because that's the latest thing that happened. Yeah. In our dining room, so there's 2 things. We had this. She came to me with this paint design she wanted to do. I'm like, yeah, I'm cool with the color. And I'm like, oh yeah, you want to go on the ceiling? Oh yeah, do it, no problem. And then when we were getting the beams put in, the carpenter offered, say, hey, I can give you coffered ceilings for free. I think it'll look great in here. I'll do the material labor, no problem. I looked it up. I'm like, oof. I'm like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
let's do it. And she's like, I don't know if we should do it. I'm like, first of all, free. Second, it's a luxury design. Third of all, I want to do it. It's going to happen. Like, it's happening, right? And she's like, I don't know. In my mind, like, I kind of talked as if I'm like, all right, we'll think. In my mind, I'm like, it's happening. I already told the guy, yes, come on Tuesday, do it. Yes. No problem. Keys are here, right? Yes. So they get done. She's like, all right. So then next thing, it came to painting, right? Yeah. And she's like, I want to leave it white. I'm like, no, you don't. That makes no sense. You put the accent color in the hole. It's just like the wall. Yeah, but I like it white. I'm like, no, look at the pictures. And she kept bringing it up. Eventually, I'm like, do it pink. If you don't like it, we don't like it, then we'll take it off. But we are painting it pink. I want to see it. And if you don't like it, I'll paint it myself back to white. We're painting it. Then we painted it. And that was that. Because I was very adamant. I wanted it. I had the vision. Right. And I was not being stopped from getting that paint job completed.
So what is your advice? Again, 21, 22-year-old Azam, young guy. What would you tell? Well, so given what you said, it is be strong in your... what I hear is you saying is be respectful to your partner, but also be strong in your convictions. And also always try to find some sort of middle ground, but also know the things that you prefer can always still outweigh.
I would give you 3 words of advice, or three points of advice.
This is what I want. Yes.
I'm going to get in trouble. 1, I'll say there are times where you have to compromise and listen to your spouse and at least hear what they're pitching, because sometimes they just want to be heard.
He's getting to it.
And if you have a predetermined answer already, keep that locked up until it's ready, until you soothe it out. So listen to them, say, all right, let's consider it. Tell them no. Then they're going to fight back. Say, all right, listen to it. Tell them no again. Then, but always itch. Always tink, so scratch away to your final no.
That's point one.
That's the rounded part.
Now,
okay.
Number 2.
Number 2 is sometimes if you're very adamant about what you believe in and there is no moving, don't waste time. Just sometimes you do have to put a foot down and say, this is not happening, period. Just stop asking me, stop bothering me about it. Just no, it's not happening.
Love it.
And you might say, oh, well, what about feelings? It's like the amount of times she's going to tell you no in your lifetime is going to far outweigh the amount of times you tell her no. So just notch on the belt and just don't worry about it. Just say no. Okay.
Number 3. Now I want to hear number 3. All that being said, hold on now. He has looked to the door. He has looked to the door. Now I want to say something. I want to say something before you go on. I don't know what you're going to say, but a lot of times people say to me, yo, you just keep I keep prodding you, or I keep pushing. Yo, I knew this topic was all. I haven't said any. I have no advice I have nothing to give. I knew Frank had all I needed to hear. Now go ahead, buddy. Hit me with. Let's hear 3. Bro.
At the end of the day, whether you want to be
STF. That's all he's gonna
No. Okay, it's not one of those moments.
Okay, go on.
At the end of the day,
you're a man.
Whether or not you want to beat around the bush, whether you want to give them a run around, whether or not you want to say no.
Yeah.
Remember, at the end of the day, this is going to be so bad. If you paid for it, you get final say.
All right.
And what I mean by that,
but it works both sides. It works both sides.
Let me clarify. 100%. 100%.
Yeah. It's
funny.
What
I mean by that,
both sides. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds funny, but if you think about it, is what I'm saying is. Yes. It doesn't mean that you always exercise saying, well, I paid for this or this, or, I bought this, whatever, therefore, or I'm paying for this, so I get to choose what it is. No. You still get the opinion. You still say, you know what? Yeah, you're right. You should do what you're saying, whatever it is. Right. But what I'm saying is, if it comes down to a black and white, you guys just cannot agree to something.
Yes.
End of the day, it's like, okay, well, whoever's paying for it gets the final say. If you're trying to choose a travel destination and she's paying for your trip, you can say, yeah, I want to go to Cuba. Well, I want to go to Jamaica. Yeah, but I want to go to Cuba. I want to go to Jamaica. You cannot agree. It's like, okay, well, she's paying.
Yes.
So if she says you're going to Jamaica, your ass is going to Jamaica. And it works the same way. It's like, if you're choosing whatever it is, hey, I want my kid to go to this school. I want to go to this school. No, I want to go to this school. It's a private school, but you're choosing a private school, I should say. It's like, okay, well, we can't decide, but I'm coughing up the 20, 30 grand a year.
I'm picking the bill.
Therefore, I get to choose. Right. If we can't come into, that's just how, and I think that stands. That
stands, and that shows not only why we're friends, but also why I agree with you 100%. And it is a key to relationship. Listen, all you guys out there and girls out there who think you got to combine all your bank accounts and all this other garbage, all this stuff. I am not a firm believer in that. I think if Saida sent it to me and I've said it to her, I'm like, well, I paid for it, or hey, you paid for it. Okay, well, it's your, hey, you paid for it. That happens a lot in this house. Okay, well, babe, you paid for it. You figure out what you want to do. good. Because listen, no matter how anybody wants to cut it, it comes. If you got to make a final call, that's the final call. I can't say it better than what you said. That's amazing. That's great. Three solid points for all you young.
You know what sucks? This is what sucks though is people hear that and people might think, "Oh, that's wrong. That's a dick move." Da, 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 da. It's like, whoa. Listen to what I'm saying.
Think about it.
I'm not saying that's how it is all the time.
No,
I'm actually saying, all the time. Hey, talk it over. Oh, good idea. Let's do what you want to do this time for sure. But if there is something that's so, like a dispute, you cannot come to agreement.
Right.
At the end of the day, the final say goes to the person flipping the bill.
Right.
Because it is that person who worked for the money who's paying for it.
Keeps looking at the door. And he's gotten quiet.
It goes both ways. No, it goes both ways 100%. And I've done it where even Cece, we'll talk about it, whether it's a mirror or whatever it is.
Sure.
And I'm like, hey, in my mind, I might not openly say it, and she might not openly say it for me. It's like
it's understood.
In my mind, I'm like,
understood now as your relationship grows.
So do what you want, no problem.
On that note, we're gonna before we get into
I like how I do a lot of talking, so I get in trouble, and you just sat there come on, man.
I knew when we talked when you sent that thing to me, and I said to you, I've been thinking about all these subjects of the topics to talk about. I knew that one. I knew Frankie would bring it home with.
You know
gold,
how you set
man.
me up too?
No,
you were just gonna do the Yo, you did, because you were like, let's just do something. Well, I'm like, He's like, let's do opposites attract.
Oh yeah.
Or telling women no. I'm like, all right, truth. And he's like, it'd be nice if we combine the two topics.
And Frank's like, ooh.
Idiot. I'm like, oh yeah. Ooh, that'd be nice. This guy just sat there. This guy set me up.
Hey, 100%. I love you, man. I love you for that. That's great. Because I could rely on you to bring the gold, man. You brought. I knew.
Yeah, well, when DC comes cussing
when you're telling me all this,
Azam loves me, ain't gonna do shit for me.
Even as you're telling me all this general, what you got, I'm like, okay, get to the brass. Give me the real. I want the Frank. I know there's a Frank.
But I gotta give all the sides of me because people are gonna think I'm a tyrant or some asshole, when I'm actually really not.
Okay.
Jeez.
Listen, before we get into Spittin' 5, we're going to do something a little different here. Where usually people always save the thank yous and the shout outs for later on, right? What we want to do is we want to say this because I know Spittin' 5 can kind of get derailed and we laugh a lot.
And no one ever stays around for the credits.
Right, no one ever stays around for the
Unless
the
it's a Marvel
song.
movie, because then you want to see the
cutscenes. Yeah, the scenes. So I'm going to go first. You want to go first or you want me to go first?
You can go first.
I'll go first? Okay, so first... Again, I want to shout out to everyone who's listened to us from day one, everyone who started listening to us midway, anybody who even listened to us for one episode. I want to thank all you guys for those listens. I want to thank specifically my sister who always listens to us from day one. She's in New York, she's in Zimbabwe, she's in Congo, she's in England. Wherever she goes, she never misses an episode. So shout out to my sister, shout out to Habam, shout out to Mahat, shout out to Riyadh, shout out to Woods, shout out to Chef, shout out to Forbes. Shout out to my boy Dwayne who hit me up today. We haven't talked in years, and he hit me up today via Facebook. Shout out to Dwayne. We used to call him Thrust. that will be a description for another day. But shout out to Dwayne who hit me up and had nothing but kind words. So thank you, brother, for that. And thank you to Andrew Bento. Again, soundtrack to ACOA. Again, a very loyal listener, one of my closest friends. Andrew, I can't thank you enough for your support for our show. And again, lending us your music, man. I mean, this is man's life's work, his passion, pretty much. And he gave us something that's incredible. All of you, again, who have listened to us from day one, very important to, again, acknowledge all of you. I also want to say special thank you to the man in front of me now, my boy Frankie.
I was waiting for this, I was like, if this guy doesn't say me, scratching you off my list.
Now, this is season 1, but this has been something like a brainchild of mine for at least 4 or 5 years prior to us talking. I couldn't have had a better partner in you, sir, a better co-host, and a better person to go forward with this show with. And into season 2 and hopefully beyond. So I want to thank you for coming aboard. It was such an easy conversation. You would never have imagined. It was such a quick conversation that we had, like maybe 5-10 minutes, and that was it. And happened about a year ago.
Like I said, every episode, man, it's just no prep, just talk, and it's fluid. So I appreciate.
Yeah,
that.
and I mean, I think we mentally I mean, I know I do. I mentally prep and kind of have a Rolodex of things I want to talk about, but we never say it to each other. So everything is genuine. Everything is right off the cuff, and as we describe our podcast as conversations, this is a conversation. You're listening to conversations happen, not just topics and subject matter. So
yes, sir.
That's my thank yous. That's my shout outs. Before we get into Spittin' in 5, Frankie.
True. Quick time. My shout outs. Of course, just a general spread to everybody for listening and partaking, commenting, liking. And even if it's one episode, half an episode, all the episodes, I appreciate all of it, 100%. Special shout outs to the following. My mom, 100%. She has been a loyal listener, always supported me in everything I did. Love you to death. Thank you so much. My boy Mike, my cousin Arlene, Akil, my boy Jay, who actually sold me the house and dealt with all this stuff. Thank my coworker Chris, who just jumped on and started listening. I want to thank my cousin Devon, just always an inspiration to me and collaborative. My boy Taylor, who came on the show. Thank you. Shout out to you.
Thanks for all the guests, man. Yeah, for sure.
Of course, Damian Woods. You already shouted them out. 100%. Yo, Azam, thank you. It's been a sick ride, sick show. This is season 1 just beginning, and of course we're gonna have season 2, 3, 4 beyond. We're gonna be sitting across from Joe Rogan one day, and he's gonna be like, "Yo, I look up to you guys." I'm like, "Yo, thanks, Joe." One day.
That's wishful thinking, man. Appreciate that, man.
Big shout out to I was gonna go deeper, but we just had our deep moments. It's
yeah, we did. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shout out to my love, Cece. She's put up with all my bullshit topics.
45 deep.
Gruesome episodes. But she's been a legit sport. Always is, always has been. My ride. Oh shit! I just dropped my recycling bin. My ride or die. So thank you so much, and I look forward to cussing after this episode. And then some special shout outs to Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, shout out. Coke over Pepsi.
We gotta tag everybody, man.
Shout out to Michelle Rodriguez. Hey girl.
Dang.
Yo, what up? Holla at your boy.
Jeez.
Shout out to American Standard. Yo, naked poops all day. Thank you. Shout out to Adidas. Adidas. Adidas always holding it down with sales. 40% off right now. And Nike ain't doing nothing,
Crooks
man.
And Castles,
yo,
bro.
Stripes over checks right now until Nike steps it up. Shout out Trojan condoms. Yo, all this relationship talk. I don't know what we did to some relationships. I don't know what kind of baby's been born. But yo, I'm pretty sure there's some babies born since February 10th. So yo, shout out Trojan. I guess quality control, I guess, right? And that's my shout outs, yo.
Okay, with that being said, hey, and you know what? We got a special shout out. I always bring him up, always talk shit about him. Hopefully he'll show up in season 2. My boy Forbes talks the most.
You already gave him a shout out.
Did I? But I want to specifically be like, I hope he shows up for season 2.
Like, scratch him off my list. That's what you said.
Scratch him off. Okay. That being said, Frankie, it is time. It is time for everyone's favorite part of the show.
Season 1 finale Spittin' in 5, right?
It is time for a very special edition. Spittin' in 5. And my special surprise for Spittin' in 5 is standing right behind you, sir.
Gotta make it sound. Come on.
Ceci, step right up to the mic.
I can't make a sound if I can't hear you guys.
Our first woman on the show. We've been planning this all day, me and Ceci, to surprise Frank.
Actually?
Hello.
100%. Ceci, say a few words. Ceci, say a few words. Ceci, say a few words.
I am so happy to be here. I have been dying to get on this show.
Yo, now my head's shining.
I almost wrote you guys an email 2 episodes ago. I think it was 3 episodes ago.
Right.
I almost wrote you guys an email. I was like, you guys need a woman's perspective on this damn show.
No.
And here we have it. It's funny. I said to Ceci about 2-3 minutes ago, I'm like, can you hear him? She goes, no. And in my mind, I go, good. I hope she hasn't heard any of this information. But
I'll be getting kicked up all night, yo.
I'd rather not hear him until I'm at work listening to the podcast and grinding my teeth at work.
So Frankie doesn't know this. I know he planned a special Spittin 5. But we have a very special guest here on this season finale. Ceci herself. Big up a girl like Ceci. And she, for the two of us, I don't know the topic.
What?
She is going to host this session of Spittin' 5.
Ah, shit. Yo, you're closing my book, yo.
I've never heard Frank so disappointed.
Oh, man.
So, I know you had one. I know you had a good one. Ceci's got the great one. Ceci's got the best one. Ceci.
Oh, you know it already?
I don't know it.
No,
but I trust her. I have confidence in her. Ceci, lay it all out.
What have you done, Azam? What have you done? You just had an episode about saying no.
Listen, man, this is the best surprise.
You say no, but Azam says yes.
See? Hey, man, 16 years, buddy. 16 years. Okay. Ceci,
all right, guys.
Go ahead, lay out the groundwork, lay out the foundation. Let us know what's going on this week's episode, or Spittin' 5. Frank, do you want to do your whole thing of like explain to people what Spittin' 5 is, or no?
Yeah, at least let me get something in. So for those of you who live underneath a rock that don't know what's going on, introverts, whatever you want to call it, don't care about social media. But Spittin' 5 is quite simply is a session at the end of the show where we go on and talk for 5 minutes, not necessarily 5, might be 10, might be 15, might be an hour, who knows. But it's a topic usually of my choice and Azam doesn't know. Yes. But apparently there's some kind of I don't know, what do you call it? Treason going on this week. And he secretly invited my woman on the show to choose the topic. Neither of us know what it is, but it's going to be a doozy, I'm sure. Go ahead.
Okay, guys. So, I just want to say I'm honored to be here. And with that said, it's a 2-parter.
Ooh, a 2-parter.
Yep. The first question is...
Yeah, you need her anytime you want.
You could just cut me right out after,
Frank's
fine. All right, so the first part is, what is your guilty pleasure in life? Shoot. What is your guilty pleasure in life?
Just porn. Generally?
I'm just joking. I'm joking.
It doesn't have to be dirty. It could be dirty if you want it to be.
Guilty pleasure.
But what is something that you always...
Elaborate on
that. You feel guilty about it, but honestly, it just brings you joy. It just brings you joy. If you want, I can kick it off. To you guys.
There we go.
Yeah,
Oh,
100%.
yeah. Oh, there we go.
Initiative. See that?
Okay, well, I'll say one of my guilty pleasures is I enjoy thrifting. I love thrifting. I love going to find treasures. Like, I don't like, people's old dirty things, but I like when you just come across something that is unique, really interesting and rare, or like an antique, and it's just in like perfect condition. And or on the other side, something that you can just turn into something beautiful, like just repaint it or whatever, make it nice. I know. I
have to say, she's also extremely good at it. Not gonna lie.
Thanks.
Like she got us
the outdoor chairs,
like, I think $40.
Yeah.
Well, I built those, but she did find the frames. It was supposed to be free
No, but she had
firewood.
it in her.
And she's like,
she had it in her mind.
Yeah, she had the vision, 100%. I just had to big up myself for a little bit.
I know it's a cheesy one, but that is my guilty pleasure because a lot of people don't like thrifting. Some people think it's dirty. Some people think like, some people don't enjoy going and looking. It's kind of like
I'm one of those
when
people.
you go to Winners and you have to dig through all the stuff. Like some people just don't love that. For me, like I actually, it's fun for me to look around and like find that buried treasure. And I just want to also add that I do clean everything I get from thrift stores. It's very important because I'm also slightly a germaphobe.
I wasn't touching anything.
Very nice, very nice, very nice.
So that's my guilty pleasure.
I'll go next. So I was just thinking, there's two things. One thing, I don't feel guilty at doing it at all, but it is a super pleasure of mine to do it. And it is shopping, just generally shopping. I love to shop. I can spend 3-4 hours at a mall. I got no problem with it. I'm notorious for being dropped off at the mall by my wife in the past or family members and be like, nobody wants to shop with me because I literally will like, I go into every store.
You told us before that you would walk the entire mall, take a note of everything that you're interested in, and then at the end,
average
you
the
just
prices
go
and see which one's worth. Yeah, exactly.
You're
Knock
a
everything
shopper.
out. Yeah,
You're
big
smart.
Time. And that goes for anything. But if I gotta go guilty, I tell people all the time I don't like sweets. I don't like chocolate. I love Ferrero Rocher. Ferrero Rocher right now is like my thing. Like every year since I've been like a kid, like the one thing my grandparents always bought me was like 2 boxes of not the little soft 16 pack, like the little soft little like
you're talking about the big one,
all the way,
buddy, the 30
but
pack.
You can eat them so easily. They just go down like it's jelly beans, man.
I just want to say that Canadian Tire right now has that 30 pack on for like $10.
Buddy, if you think I didn't see that, and I saw Food Basics, I saw Food Basics
just picked one up.
I saw Food Basics have like the small pack for $4.99, and I was like, yeah.
If everyone could just see Azam's face right now, it is just joy. Like,
for me, you know what? My version of that is Toblerone.
I was gonna say if I can't get Ferrero Rocher, I get Toblerone.
It destroys your teeth, but nougat, it is worth every single cavity.
It's definitely worth it. Ferrero Rocher and Toblerone are my top 2, dude. Have you ever had the white chocolate Toblerone?
I don't like it. Don't talk about that.
Oh, you
I
don't
like white chocolate.
Oh, you don't like white chocolate?
No, man.
I do.
Oh, you do. Oh, I like
I like white chocolate, but the Toblerone is supposed to be
the chocolate. I get it. So that's mine. I would say chocolate and specifically Ferrero Rocher. And again, I put on that I don't like sweets and stuff. I will. Like Saida just the other day was like, babe, why am I finding like wrappers in your car for Rocher? I'm like, that's my travel food, man. I've been working. That's my I stop at a gas
station.
Case. Okay, so that's mine. So Frankie, you're the last man left.
I feel kind of shitty because mine is nothing as enjoyous as yours.
Okay.
Either you.
This is not a competition.
My guilty pleasure. No, you gotta understand what I mean when I say it. My guilty pleasure, 100%.
Okay.
Is shit talking. I love it.
You don't feel guilty. Don't lie.
No, I do. You know why? Because like I'm usually, like I said, calm. I just kind of try to diffuse and not whatever. But especially if it's like during soccer or football or something, and someone like gets me absolutely just pissed off, and they get the ignorant, just the really bad Frank.
Yeah.
I would say the most hurtful, demoralizing things to them, and until I get the reaction I want, like I love it. And the only thing that's the icing on the cake on that, like the topper, is if I go and I score on them or I beat them.
Yeah.
And then I would because I'm usually faster, and if someone's shit talking me, I'll make sure I go I attack them, and I will completely dust them. And I'm like, yo, you can't keep up, and there's usually a lot of cussing and shit in there. Listen, and I'm like, come on, where were you? Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh. Oof. I love shit talking. I love it.
But what's the guilty part of it? You feel bad after you mean? You feel guilty?
Oh, because after like literally after, I'm like, I took it a little far. Like I'm making personal attacks. Like I'm not saying on the show and you won't pull it out, but I make some pretty bad attacks.
Yeah.
And after I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. But I'm like,
yeah, you got too far.
In the act, I'm like, ooh, I love it.
All right.
Okay,
so,
part 2.
Really quickly.
Yeah.
Part 2 is, what is your guilty pleasure show or movie that you don't tell people that you watch, but you love it?
You
That's
go.
a tough
Do
one.
you have one?
I mean,
I'm not guilty at all because I think like for me, just I don't want to cut you off, but for me, I don't feel guilty of it. But I love chick flicks and I love like Gilmore Girls and I like Golden Girls and all that shit. Yeah, Murphy Brown, all that stuff.
I never would have thought.
Designing women, all that stuff. Oh, you talk to me, buddy. You can talk to me all day. Lake House. You watch Lake House, Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. Oh, beautiful movie, man.
Yo,
I love that
I don't know if I can
stuff.
do a season 2.
Really getting to know them here.
I just thought about it.
Like, I
season
don't-
2 might not happen.
So like to me, I don't know. Like I guess, you know what? I like. No, again, I don't feel bad about it. Like I'll say it. I don't have, so I don't feel guilty about it. But yeah, I even like all those stoner movies and all the dumb like.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't
dumb
see that
stuff.
coming.
I love all the dumb. Dude, where's my car? Even like to like Half Baked has become a cult classic, but all that bad stuff. Remember Alyssa Milano when she was like? Do you remember Alyssa Milano? You know what Alyssa Milano is? You know who's the boss?
With,
The
like
girlfriend
celebrity
who's the boss?
names to face them.
I know what a mulatto is.
That's not the
Okay,
same.
not mulatto. Anyways, have you watched
Not even
Showgirls?
close.
Have you watched Showgirls? Like
Yes.
with Jessica Spano and
No.
like the girl from Saved by the Bell, Jessie.
Yeah.
Showgirls.
Yeah, I remember her.
I
Yeah.
love that movie. it's raunchy, it's nasty.
That was a
and it's
dirty movie.
Dirty movie, but if it comes on, and not even the sex parts, I just like that movie. So I'll say that movie. There you go. Showgirls.
I just want to throw something in that I know
face.
some people can relate to, is that my parents had pay-per-view when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like pay-per-view where you can watch anytime.
Are you about to admit
all
that you
day
like watching
long.
like
Yeah.
baby
And
movies at night?
Scramble.
Showgirls was one of those movies that I
It was
secretly watched when
all
I
the
was way
time.
too young to watch
Yeah.
it.
It came on all the time, man. There was like
Yeah,
a channel,
no, because it's
the
like-
black box.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're still
Black
talking about
Box.
this.
Because
This
it
is terrible.
finishes and then it starts again.
Starts again, dude. And you watch, and it's like daytime and shit. It's not even like it's on the
Yeah.
common. Oh, me and Ceci watching that shit at the same time, bro. I tell you,
Yo, I'm about to lock. Yo.
Frank's leaving the conversation.
so that's
Well-
fine.
Oh
I'd
my
probably-
gosh.
Again,
All right.
chick flicks.
I don't
and,
feel
that
guilty
stuff.
about it
Well,
at
then
all.
that's not your answer, you guys.
You just
never
gotta give
feel
one.
guilty.
You know what?
Like, I don't feel guilty. Well, like I don't feel guilty
No
watching
regrets.
any shows, but like for me, it's
I guess more surprising. Like if somebody was to say to you, like,
Yeah.
I get what Ceci means. I guess for us, we would say it, but a lot of people wouldn't say it. Like I know, because
Yeah.
I talked to Mans about Gilmore Girls. I'm gonna be honest with you.
You know what?
And Mans was
I would
telling
have a
me
guilty
about
music genre,
Okay,
but
go
that's like music genre. I'd have a guilty one because like you gotta
Okay.
turn it down when you reach like a stop sign something. But movies, I don't care. But for me, I love my like animated cartoons, like anything Pixar, DreamWorks.
on. Yeah.
Like I love them
It's true.
to the point where I've actually like I was telling Cece the other night, I cried at the end of one, like legit tears because it was so good.
He'll go to the movies by himself to see some
Yo,
of Pixar and
listen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a guilty.
Big-
That's a guilty pleasure going to the movies by yourself.
Big
maybe.
Hero
He
6.
likes that. He goes.
Big Hero 6. You ever see that?
Casey cried. My son bawled, man. He couldn't
Dude,
take
when
it.
he
So did
when
Frank.
he did that rocker arm to let his guy, oh,
Let his
yo,
buddy,
I
like-
legit down my face. I was like, fuck. I'm like, wow, this is for real? This is for real right now? Oh my goodness.
You know, as
But
yeah, go ahead.
you know what? Sorry, I will say this.
Yeah.
My guilty pleasure, this actually is a guilty pleasure whenever I'm watching in front of Cece.
Okay.
Animal shows whenever the predator catches its hunt. I love seeing
love
it
it.
catch it and kill it and break its neck.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, looking with Cece, 100% just
Tears.
crying.
I'm
Oh my
actually
God, like,
crying.
I feel bad. I'm like, but I'm like, this is amazing.
That's how Sayan is too. Exact same thing. She's like, "Oh my God, why would he do that? Why are they filming this?" And I'm like, "Yo, this man rip off them. Yo, 2 of them. Yo, 5 of them, 8 to 1.
Yo, 2 of
them. Belly open up everything.
I
guts
love
on the
seeing
thing.
it,
Yo,
especially when
so
they catch
fast.
like the little baby because they're usually fast, but like,
done.
yo, just takes up the
Done.
legs.
Where's your mom at?
Honestly,
Perfect.
It's
Where's
the
your
worst
mom
thing
at?
for babies.
Your daddy left
guys
you.
are horrible.
Yo, Penguin, why did you think you can cross that water? Of course the sea lion's gonna fuck you up. Come on, man. Sorry, Cece, my breath smells so bad right now.
Okay.
No comment.
Okay.
She's like right at the mic. I'm just like, yo, I didn't tell you to be here. I would have prepared. I would have had some.
I'm also very surprised.
Wait. What's your music genre thing? You were saying a music genre. You have a music genre that's like a guilty pleasure? That's a good one. I have one maybe.
Yo,
I like country
the amount
music.
of times
I like country music on the
Really?
low. Yeah, I like it. It's a
I
lot of
like
lyrics.
some. I like.
man.
I like a
Stories.
certain kind of country music.
I don't choose
But for
it, but if
me,
I hear it, I don't cut it
Where
off.
I always have to turn down the music if I'm like stopping or something.
Like the rap
I
stuff.
love Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, All Saints. People
I
are
knew
like, "Why are you
this.
saying All Saints?"
We
I
went
don't
at
care
All
what you say.
Saints.
But yo, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, I will blast that in my car. I will sing every single lyric. But then if I pull up, yo, that's turning right down.
Yo, one of the great things about this pod has been getting
Wait,
to
Cece
know.
has to go for a movie.
I know, but getting to know
Let me
you and
finish.
me, like us getting to know each other better, and like our friendship, I think, growing from this podcast. I'll never forget Frank saying, "Hey, what's the first album you bought?" And I said my thing. I don't remember. It was like whatever it was, and this guy goes All Saints, and I'm like All Saints. What All Saints? What did All Saints do to you? What part of you was like All Saints is the one I'm gonna spend
Yo,
like
man,
20?
because
Back in
they
those
had
days-
that good one album, yo. Come
You know,
on,
them
man.
days-
Plus,
Nothing
their
was
lead
cheap.
singer was so cute. She was
Yeah.
cute,
Yo,
man.
those days nothing was cheap. It was like $18.99 or $21.99. There was no like
I paid it.
sale.
I paid
You
it.
paid it for sure.
I paid it.
Birthday money for
True.
All Saints, this guy.
I paid it.
Okay, Ceci, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, so I don't do reality TV, not because like I feel like
Oh,
if
I
it's
love it.
on, sometimes I'll kind of indulge
I
and
love
like I'll just watch a little just because like I want to
What?
see what it's about. But I don't really watch reality TV.
But
However,
That's something I said no to.
my
I don't
only
watch it.
reality TV guilty pleasure is Jersey Shore because
oh, I love
it
who
is
doesn't
such
like Jersey
a
Shore.
train wreck and
What?
it's so good. It's just such a good train wreck.
The
Like
reunion. Oh,
Frank,
so
look
good.
right now. I haven't watched the reunion, okay, but I
You haven't
gotta
watched the
say, like
reunion?
that is
Oh, so good.
no. But you know what? That is definitely a guilty pleasure that I'm slightly embarrassed to say that I do enjoy.
Oh, don't be guilty
but
about
other
You
it.
guys
than
skip my
that-
spin and five to say strippiness like this.
Other than that, I am happy to say that on the
Frank
season
is so
finale of your
upset.
show, my other guilty pleasure
Oh boy,
is
bonus.
like movies about like high school and a coming of
Oh.
age.
Coming of age.
She practiced that. That was a practice. right
the
there.
reason why I like movies like that is just because like I feel like it takes you back and I feel like it brings out all those like kind of first emotions that you felt when you were younger. Like I don't know, it kind of just I enjoy them. That's my guilty pleasure.
Nice.
And
Yeah,
yesterday, no, just
Mhm.
like just this week we watched 10 Things I Hate About You. Man, that brought me joy.
Good
That
movie.
brought me
I like it. That was a good
joy.
movie. That was good. That was good.
That era of movies is so
Yeah, but then
good,
she tried to make me watch Camp Nowhere.
Yo, shut up.
nowhere.
Camp Nowhere.
Okay, no.
Name
that-
one actor, actress from Camp Nowhere.
Okay, listen.
One.
I never heard of
I
Camp
didn't
Nowhere.
I didn't make him do anything. I just remembered as a kid loving this movie. And I know for a fact that trying to rewatch some of these movies now as an
It's
adult,
hard.
I'm in for a big disappointment.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
was.
You know what she did?
And I was.
I
but
went
as a
upstairs 'cause
kid,
I'm like-
I loved it.
I'm like, yo, I'm not watching
I
this.
just
I'm
wanted
gonna
to
pick Call of
reminisce.
Duty.
Like
Yo, I come down. I'm like, yo, she's watching. Yo, she's not even watching the whole thing. She's pressing the fast forward 10-second button. She's literally watching.
I was.
She watched for a second, and she's like, forward. And she watched for like a minute. She's like,
But it's
It's so
emotional,
bad.
right? It's almost like you don't want to
So
cut it off, right?
bad.
You feel like it's almost like you have such an attachment to
she's
it. You don't want to
wasting
cut it
TV
off.
time.
Right?
That's hydro bill, man.
No, I just wanted to reminisce. Let me be.
Yo, I cry.
Oh my gosh.
Frank's got on me about that. Like I hear songs like from those movies and stuff, and I get so sad, dude. There's nothing that makes me sad, but that shit makes me sad. And then he'll be
See?
like, he's been like, yo, what
Brings
are you
up the
thinking of? Like, what's
emotion.
going on? I'm like, I have no
Yo.
memory. There's nothing happening. It's just-
I mean, listen.
like, you remember that
In-
song? As we go on, we'll remember it. All the good times.
Oh yeah.
Look at my eyes, man. Look.
Isn't that the graduation song?
Yeah,
Is that the graduation song?
But it happened when I
Next
graduated,
summer,
but I don't
Frank,
remember
you
it.
come to Azam at the highlight of the night. Yeah, I'm playing Cupid. Blasting.
Oh,
Yo.
Cupid.
I'm making sure you stay there.
Oh man.
Azam, I will forever think of you when I hear Cupid.
Oh man. I don't even know who I'm thinking
you
of.
shedding a tear.
I don't even know who I'm thinking of when there's no one I'm thinking of. That shit hits me
just
hard,
the
man.
Lies.
That shit
There's
hits me
someone
so
who's a
hard.
skeleton in that
I
closet.
wish it was. I wish I could lie to you and be like, you know what? No, you know what? I can't even talk about it. I don't even know who I'm. There's no one coming to my brain. It just hits me hard, man. That shit hits me so hard, dude. Anyway, that was a good
some
one.
songs and movies they just touch the soul. That's just all it is.
Listen, this was the best surprise that we have conjured up. Ceci, thank you so
I was
much.
wondering why she was coming in. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm recording.
And she was
Dude.
so
Babe,
patient.
Get out of here.
She was so patient, yo. I messaged her about half hour ago. I was like, yo, you ready? She's like, yeah. And then we were doing our shout outs and everything. And she's like, I'm like, yo, you ready? She's like, yeah, 25 minutes later. Thanks.
No, wait. She was responding to your text messages?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh,
I think she responds to somebody.
Oh, okay.
Wow,
All
Frank.
That's how.
All right, Sam, tell them where you can. Tell the people where you can find us.
They're
Yo,
not
he had
gonna
to have
find you anymore.
He had to have a mic drop. A mic drop ending to that. You can find us on everywhere you listen to music, everywhere you stream your podcast. You can find us on all social media platforms at acomingofage.the podcast or acomingofage_the podcast. You can also email us. Ceci, you said just now you were about to email us. Is that true? You were tempted to email us.
She wasn't going to do nothing. What do you mean?
I was so tempted. I can't even. I wrote it. I was at work and I wrote it on a post-it note.
Yo,
email.
Let me tell you this.
The podcast.
Let me tell you this. You know what Cece?
Upset.
You know what Cece reminds me of? Cece's like,
oh boy.
She's like, if you're walking through the woods and you see this bear come out of nowhere, you're like, oh shit, a bear. It comes up to you. And it just rolls over, just wants his stomach pet. Harmless. She looks ferocious. Harmless.
Tell him what the email is.
Nothing.
Thank you. You can email us. Right now, again, it still stands season 1. We only had 2 emails from Andrew, I think. Andrew and Frank's mom, Mrs. Wilson.
Yo, 3 emails, guy. 2 senders.
Yo, did you shout out your mom, Mrs. Wilson? Did we shout her out?
100%. What do you mean? I said that she's always supporting me and everything.
All right, good.
His mom's the best. I just want to put it out there. She is the best.
She's a great lady.
Hopefully Cece's mom never hears this.
Not a comparison.
You can email us at acomingofage.thepodcast@gmail.com. This was episode 45, our season 1 finale. Ceci, I can't thank you enough. Ceci made the commitment tonight to stay up and stick around to show
See,
up.
now people can't argue that we didn't have fallopian tubes on our show.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Thank you. This was a pleasure. Good night.
She's going to bed.
Frankie, any last words before we sign off, sir? Any last words?
Fun times. I hope people sign back in January, February, whenever we come back.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be January. And it's been hella fun. We're going to come to you with fresh topics, fresh everything, fresh content, hopefully new platforms, everything. But other than that, keep it real. Have a blessed Christmas holidays. Happy New Year. And we'll see you guys on the flip side.
Catch you down the road.
Catch you.